certain scenario where having a portable projector just fits, like when you're in the garden having a family barbecue and you want to put on the football or the F1. Or maybe you're like Nick, who sets up his portable projector to have a movie night with the family. Or you have your friends round and you want to play a massive Smash Bros tournament, but don't want to sit around your tiny 55-inch TV to do so. The XGIMI Halo is perfect, combining massive image sizes, decent clear audio, and Android TV for loads of content. The unit itself stands at 17 centimeters tall and around 12 centimeters wide, with a depth of just under 15 centimeters. On top is a dark grey with 3 touch sensitive buttons, one for play and pause and the other for volume control. The body of the Halo is a lighter grey and for the most part perforated for sound. Inside are 2 5-watt speakers provided by Harman Kardon, which sound decent enough for a portable device. Now, it's not going to blow you away with audio, but you've got a decent enough throw to it in an almost 360-degree direction. On the front is a hole at the top for the lens, as you can see, and also a second, much smaller hole for the autofocus function. Inputs, I will say, are scarce, but to tell you the truth, you're probably not going to need all that many anyway. On the back, you have the power input, a single HDMI input, a USB input 2 for plugging in memory sticks for hard drives to play video footage, and on the base you can find a small stand that can angle the projection slightly higher than parallel to the actual desk itself. And I never needed really to use this, as my unit was at the perfect height, so I relied on the rubber base instead. Now, there's also a tripod screw on the bottom too, so you can position it wherever you like in the room. This also has the ability to wall mount it to a wall or a ceiling, and heat ventilation will be absolutely fine for both. You also have a basic remote control that can navigate the menus, change the volume and source, and also acts as a microphone, so you can use the onboard Google Assistant to find content more easily. So the actual setup here was pretty painless. The Halo runs on Android TV, so it was a case of opening your Google app on your phone, and if it's Android, of course, and pairing the 2 devices together. This thing is wireless, and all in all, it took no longer than 10 minutes before I found myself on the actual homepage. During the setup though, a nice feature was the ability to transfer apps across to the Halo from my phone, which I selected Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Netflix, and even GeForce Now for a bit of gaming. There's also a little camera on the front here, which helps with projection, placement, and focus. Now, you can let XGIMI sort this out for you and just set everything to auto, but you've also got manual settings to choose from too, like keystone adjustments, which allow for a 40-degree correction, manual focus settings, and also projector placement for ceiling mount projection. Now, I'm surprised that for the most part, the auto features were actually pretty accurate, and if I was being super fussy, the keystone was slightly off when I first hit the main menu, but thanks to the gyro correction, because inside there is a small gyroscope, it fixed it pretty seamlessly. So I was super impressed with that. One thing that also did surprise me quite a bit though is the fact that the XGIMI Halo doesn't support a native Netflix app. And during setup, the Halo asked which apps I wanted to transfer over from my phone. Of course, being a projector and the nature of the beast, I chose Netflix. But when it came to open the app on the Halo, it came back with an error message.
Hello, it's Future Steph here, and we've just had a workaround on how you can get Netflix onto the XGIMI Halo projector. Now, a representative from XGIMI actually reached out because the written review is on the TechNuovo website. And it's actually quite interesting. They let me know that apparently Netflix is a closed system and would not approve XGIMI to include the Netflix app of yet. So it's not something that XGIMI could control. It's actually Netflix saying you can't put our app on your device. Now, there is a workaround that you can perform on the Halo projector. Now, all you have to do is go to the Google Play Store and search for something called XTV Manager. I wasn't really aware that this thing existed before the representative reached out, but all you need to do is really just download that, open the Manager app, XTV Manager app, go to the apps screen, and then you'll see Netflix. From there, just install it, and away you go. Netflix will be available through the XTV Manager app. Now, it's not quite, just to let you know, it's not quite the mobile version of Netflix. It almost looks like it opens up a browser, like a web browser, and lets you use Netflix that way. which is absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with doing it that way. It's just slightly different than the actual mobile app that you might expect on something like Android. But it's a workaround, so I'm happy with that. I'm definitely happy that there's a workaround so you can get Netflix, obviously being the most popular video on demand service, or one of. Not available in there, it's a bit silly, but no, there's a full workaround. It works. I've tested it myself and I'm happy with the results. Back to the video.
What came after setup though was a little short of breathtaking. I wasn't expecting to be so surprised, but I was. I haven't got a traditional projector set up in my house already, and nor did I really need it, though having a proper white screen or a pure white wall would only heighten the quality of the XGIMI Halo. Instead, and I'll clarify for the sake of this review, that the wall I could best use this projector on is a light grey, but this didn't really hinder my experience at all. The Halo opens up to the main menu where you can find all of your favorited apps and other app recommendations. Halo claimed that there are 5,000 plus apps available for the Halo itself, as it's running Android TV, and looking through the Play Store, it doesn't seem wrong. Not that I counted 5,000 apps, there definitely isn't inside the Google Play App Store on this device. There might be on your phone if you cast it, but you can if you search by category, but there is a lot to choose from, and most notably the top streaming services you'd normally find on a smart product like Disney Plus and Amazon Prime, and also video services like Kodi and Plex. You've even got the likes of YouTube, which admittedly works really well, Red Bull TV, TED, Crunchyroll, and so much more video on demand apps, plus an abundance of games, which for me really shows off the versatility of this device. You've even got some health and fitness stuff, some business apps to track stocks and news, and some educational apps as well. There really is a lot of choices to make when it comes to content. And you can also cast your phone as it's Android Google. You've got Google Chromecasting and the like available to you. So if the content works on your phone, you can display it through the projector. And it's a nice way around the Netflix app issues that I personally experienced. Of course, projectors rely on light to get the most out of them, so I would suggest using this at night with all of your lights off, or at least with blackout curtains during the day. The ANSI lumens runs between 600 and 800, and this is at its peak, which for a portable projector is pretty impressive to say the least, considering other reputable brands out there are achieving up to 200 lumens as a peak brightness. Of course, it's definitely nowhere near the brightest projector out there, but for a projector of this size, I'm pretty impressed. Watching some Star Wars on Disney Plus was pretty spectacular, and although you can only get a 1080p image out of this thing, it does accept 2K and 4K images through the likes of something like YouTube. Now, it's not a native 4K resolution, it just accepts that signal. Now, you're certainly going to need some space to get its maximum 300-inch image out of it, and I only managed around 260 inches over the entire width of my living room, but at that size, for the most part, brilliant. The biggest issue I found though is with darker scenes, where things looked a little less refined and colours were a little muted. There is a way for you to try to improve the image as much as possible, which does include some presets and a few custom profiles where you can adjust the red, blue and green hues to improve colours and give yourself a bit of a grade if you want to. The projector uses a method called DLP, and the projection magnification is at 1.2 to 1. You can have this projector as small as 30 inches depending on the distance away from your wall or screen, and up to 300 inches as its maximum size, which in a living room is just absolutely huge. Sound wise, it's not bad, but it's not going to blow your head off in cinema surround sound. It's also not going to give much in terms of bass reproduction, and action movies certainly felt a little dead when watching. In the scene again in Star Wars where Rey and Finn are trying to outrun the TIE fighters on Jakku, explosions were extremely empty and there was just no real thud from that bass coming from anywhere. Though the higher pitched laser fire of the TIE fighters and even actors' voices are carried very well and were very clear. And you've got to remember though that the Halo is classed as a portable projector and the unit itself is no bigger than a premium Bluetooth speaker. So you can't really ask it for much. And if you're using it to keep up with your favourite YouTubers or for a bit of audio while you're trying to get off to sleep, then it's absolutely fine and actually sounds alright. Just don't expect too much from it, as it definitely won't deliver. I was also a little shocked to see that there's no HDMI ARC for external sound devices, but there is a headphone port, so you can use a set of external speakers or plug it into some kind of amplifier if you have that sort of setup in your home. Having the ability to cast an image at 300 inches is absolutely great, and it can be a pretty unique experience. But is the Halo going to be something that takes over the living room as your main entertainment system? No. It still can't beat a decent TV setup with some kind of soundbar for audio. It's a device that's pulled out for special occasions, like the ones I spoke about at the start of this video. But as portable projectors go, it's one of the best out there, thanks to its full HD display and peak brightness. The auto setup feature works an absolute treat and saves a lot of time getting set up, and its size means it can be safely carried around from house to house, no problem. It does cost in the region of £600 to £700 though online, so it is expensive for the occasional use, but it is the Euros supposedly this year if COVID doesn't cancel it again. So if you like your barbecues, you love your football, you love your summertime, you love drinking in the garden, watching football at a barbecue, then why not get an XGIMI Halo to watch football on the side of your house. So thank you very much for checking out our video review of the XGIMI Halo Portable Projector. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to keep up with our latest tech and gaming videos, and also let us know in the comments down below what you think about the XGIMI Portable Projector. Is this something that you could see using yourself at your own summer football barbecue events? Let us know in the comments down below. As I say, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.